interests in uh, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, if I had my own film production company, uh, what would I be doing with that company? Um, and especially if I had a film production company that could do stage combat. Um, the I would create a show called. There's two shows I would make. The first would be Ithaca, or called Ithaca, is the working title. The idea of Ithaca, it would look and feel like Vikings, the History Channel BBC show, where um, have if we know what the Mycenaean, what basically everything we know of the Mycenaean era, um, and like we will try to present, and if anything, um, like we'll even just aim for the beginning of what would be considered the Golden Age. So that way we have what we believe certain places look like before they would have these like big sort of extra edifices added to them. Meaning that like okay because what we want to show with this program Ithaca is um, there's trade going on between the people in modern day Greece with the people in modern day Turkey, Anatolia, with people in Mesopotamia, all the way on through to people of modern day Iran and even into India, and as well as with Egypt. There's sea trade. There's a certain amount of technology that some people know and use. So let's uh, if we it's create the program and just show this is what we know, and so based on that, create accurate period pieces in terms of costumes and lifestyle. So that way, the if partner with History Channel, but that way you're showing um, like this is what we know and here's what we think based on what makes sense, because of just have reenactors and what have you involved. But it's like it's not too hard to figure out. Like, okay, this is how the people of the day would have been living and conducting themselves. So, uh, and and because I have a production company and actors know how to do stage combat, know how to do construction. Uh, the I would we'd be able to have like okay, we're going to show the actors um, cutting down the forest, working the wood, working with the pottery, working with stone, um, the everything you need to and then working with food harvesting and animal husbandry, uh, and just showing that this is what the people of the time would have been living like. This is how they're you know exploiting the land in terms to create a surplus for a cash crop. And so that way we're showing the economy because if we know linear B uh, is essentially writing for uh, tallying things, that provides a lot of ideas. So like I said, this is an introduction to the people and the sort of nature, and I think um, potentially the we could introduce a sort of like uh, because if we're going for a Vikings setup, okay, could some of these guys be raider types, and they get into piracy, and so we would wrap up the show with a like just showing like sort of the pirates of the time, and concluding season would I would like let's create something that's similar to the Odyssey, with the character, and it's just have this sort of like, oh, okay, this is what happens to the pirates, and like, well, what happened to you? Like, oh, well, the truth, and here's this made up story I created. But that's show one, and then from that, show two, Philip of Macedon. What we know of Philip of Macedon, one of many princes of the Macedonian kingdom, coming out of the aftermath of the Persian, attacks and occupation, and to see how that, the recognition that we could unify these lands together, and because the what we know of the real history, and like what we don't know, it would be you can use the power of creative fiction, and just having the actors there and the writers there, and just people like, well, what would happen? How would this happen? How would people know? Or what's the outcome? And it's like these very, I think this is great sort of because the character and his life cycle, so you get different actors at different times of their life, and the different actors are the different people. So like just each season would be like just amazing in terms of like, okay, all right, well, what do you up to the age of 10 the first season, the second season like up to the age of 15, 15 to 20, season 3, and then season 4 is like maybe his 20s, so, because of just how intense things got in terms of before he becomes king, and then when he finally becomes king, and then the different things that happened while he was king, and then finally the last stages of his life. So it's like, yeah, the amazing storyline. So yeah, those are my 2 ideas: Ithaca and Philip of Macedon. Yeah, what do you guys think?